Ya Ali Madad. Alwaaz, Rai Abu Ali Missionary, wise number 431.
In various provinces of Iran. Then Asad Ali Shah left Iran, came to India. Sultan Muhammad Shah went to Europe. Maulana Hazar Imam is now living in Europe. You see, this Imamat has changed routes. And Hazar Imam is not going to live all the time in Europe. Maybe in this Jama or next Jama, they will give up staying in Europe. They will go to some other place. In one of my wives, I have expressed my dua and my desire that one day Imamat will come to Canada. Amen. But what I said, Imamat, place of Imamat, center of Imamat's activities has changed. It will go back to Indian subcontinent, that is Pakistan. Not in next century, maybe at the end of the next century or in the beginning of 22nd century. According to Ginans, whatever I'm telling you, it is not my gut work, it is not my imagination, but it is a calculated fact from our Ginans. And Pakistan one day will have our Imam as the ruler of the kingdom. Although it is not during our lifetime, but it is coming. I started from that little story about Farman of Sultan Muhammad Shah that after 100 years Isnashari was able to be wiped out. Obviously, there is only one Imam, and that is Ismaili Imam, claiming to be the rightful Imam, direct descendant from Prophet Muhammad, and all our Imams have done it. All our Imams have also told and declared that Imamat will last forever, till the end of this world. And up to now, that is absolutely correct and rightful. Shia people, particularly Isnasharis, they are without Imam, but they believe in the institution of Imamat. They believe. They are with us up to Imam Jafar Sadiq. Then diversion took place. And their 12th Imam went into hiding. Imam Khaib Taigo. It's about 1,000 years now. They have no Imam. But eventually, within next 50 days, my calculation, most of the Isnashari community, Isnashari firqa, they will accept our Imam. Not 100%, but most of them. They will accept Hazar Imam, whoever Hazar Imam is at that time, in say 40-50 years. And their Shia tradition will be enhanced and changed to some extent by the Imam himself. Hazar Imam is taking pain after telling us, you do that. Imams are not rulers. You do it for I'll punish you. It is not that. Imam like kind father or loving mother. Don't do this. Do this. If you don't follow, he will tell you it's not a good thing. You have lost a chance. So that in that way, Hazar Imam, from the time of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, has been telling us for the past 50 years, which I know personally, that you read Islamic history, your own history, read about Shiaism, study the difference between Sunnis and Shias. But in the last 50 years, we haven't done whatever had to be done. We are still ignorant about it. Books are there, but our people have no time to read these books. I hope and pray that next generation will take this kind of activity and read the books. So much material is coming up now about Shiaism. And in that literature, so many things are very near to us. You know, the confusion here is amongst Ismaili youth and non-Ismailis that why the things that traditional Ismailis are doing in Jamaat Shanat are not amongst Muslims. For instance, Nandi. There is no Nandi in the mosque. There is no Chanta in the mosque. There is no Mehmani in the mosque. All such things which are in our Jamaat Shanat are not found in other places amongst the Shia or the Sunnis. So this confusion creates doubt amongst some hearts. For the past 50, 60 years, Alhamdulillah, whatever we do, Jamaat Shanat, our rites, our rituals, our practices, down from the time of Prophet Muhammad. All these things in one way or the other were being practiced during his own time. I have no time presently now to elaborate each and everything, but I have done. It is in my voices. Nandi, Thar, Sukro, Mehmani, Chanto, even Sukrit. I mean, Sukrit not in this form, that Kheer, Kangarat, Amrit, Bhojan, the milk and wheat bran, or atta flour, ghee, like butter, and sugar. Then we put niyaz. But in that time, because there is no wheat in Arabia, so it wasn't in this form, but Sukrit was there. Rasulullah himself used to remove the stone from the dates and mixing with the hand and put, and he was in place of Sukrit, he was giving this as a jurub. He himself was conducting ceremony of niyaz. He was also receiving mehmanis. And the women of Medina, they used to cook whatever the things at home, and a portion, small portion of the cooked things to Prophet Muhammad, and he would eat it with other ashab. There was no Nandi-like option, wasn't there, but he received it. Here we auction the food because we cannot send it physically to Hazrat Imam. Suppose you have cooked biryani and you make it a mehmani to Hazrat Imam. How to send this biryani there? And if he starts this kind of business, so there will be thousands of parcels from all over the world. What he would do it? So it was his order, according to the Bible from Musa alayhi salam. Auction it, collect the money, send to me. But that was also the practice during the time of Muhammad. So what I say that all these ceremonies that we are conducting in our Jamaat are not new, and many ignorant people, including many ignorant scholars of our Ismaili Institute and others, they simply would say, because they don't know, they put a label on that. That is from the Hindu side, just to convert Hindus. It's a very wrong statement. Nothing from Hinduism. Of course, because of the language, the names Hindus have come in our Vedants. Rasulullah also was giving niyaz, that part. With other deen, because he wanted to establish Jamaat there in India. So he used the Hindi language and the cultural ways of the country where he wanted to work. But there isn't any Hinduism in this. If you say Quran has also many stories of those people who weren't Muslims. Many stories are from the Kafirs also. So mention of a thing as an evidence is a different thing. It doesn't become the part and parcel of the religion or faith. So our Jamaat is very ignorant. Our people have no time to read such books that they may understand Islamic faith. For that reason, Imam will have to, whether he likes it or not, have to change certain things in our practice. He will make change. But it is he only who can make change. No other person has that kind of prerogative. It is only Imams which, suppose these Afghani people who have come here, in their Jamaat there wasn't any ceremony of Nadi. But now they come here and they see, and then they ask, and then now they understand that what is Nadi. Nadi is a Nadi. So other Imam may, in future, to bring other Shias near him, he may change certain things. He may not change even, but we will have to go towards them, and they will have to come towards us at a stated meeting place. Hazar Imam will take this kind of work or business, when and where. But we must go near the Muslim Ummah. Not necessarily that we go to mosque and say our namaz there, but at least meet them. Say Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. We are Muslim, you are Muslim. But you know, the trend has become in such a way that whenever you meet a Muslim and he is your friend, becomes friend, and then he will ask you, why you Ismailis don't pray? And we people, we keep calm, mum, because we have no answer. It is our mistake. We must be prepared to give answer and reply them in a legitimate way so that they are convinced. You can very well say, we are praying, but you are. The word namaz is not found in Quran. In Quran, either dua. Dua is Arabic word. So you are saying dua is everything. The best part of the contains 6 parts, and all parts are ayats from the Quran. Our tariqah is different, but the main criteria is to remember God and thank you. I mean, really tell them, but we must be prepared how to be very high. Now about Imam. Sunnis have no institution of Imamat. Shias have. And Shia Sunni, they are fighting for 1400 years, including us. Quran is full of many ayats about Imamat. I cannot start a class in such a gathering, but I tell you, Many places Allah says, I have sent down two things, my Nur and the book. Per book we can see Quran Pak. Where is the Nur? Nowhere except our Imam. He claims, no other person has claimed that I'm the holder of Nur. So we can talk from Quran and Hadith. But what I want to draw your attention, Ummah has no guide. Ever since Murtaza Ali died, Muawiyah usurped the power and he became caliph. Actually, these Bani Umayyah people, they ruled for 90 years. They were the rulers, not khalifas. So the history is there. Now in this age, old things are being dug out. Many old manuscripts have come up, and where the original work is in the hands of scholars. The difference between Shia and Sunni has been, searched for that. The scholars have come to know what is the right, what is wrong. And inshallah, by the efforts of non-Muslim scholars, we will come across the real work done by the historians of that time. We are very near to that way. But we Ismailis, as I just said repeatedly, we are not interested in reading or writing. We must read books. We must read, think over it, and teach to your children that what is the truth. Unfortunately, in Canada, a group of our enemies, they are spreading their tentacles all over Canada. I have got, the factual news information. Baha'i people, the conspiracy is like this. Isnashari people, they turn to Baha'ism. Then these Baha'is, they are after our children, youngsters, converting them to Baha'ism. And if once an Ismaili leaves his historical faith, Ismailism, and turns to Baha'ism, then they take him to Isnashari faith. This conspiracy is going like that. And it has started from Vancouver. They have come even here in Toronto. They are going to spread. Another heartbreaking story is some Ismaili youngsters, they are using internet to boost anti-Ismaili propaganda. Internet is taking up. This is a very bad story. Internet is free. And because they have no control of any kind, rationally or irrationally they are talking nonsense in this media of internet. And please do not get influenced whatever you read in internet. Read good books. Some people say, why don't we reply them? You can talk to a sensible person who has a sense of justice, balance of mind, who may accept right and wrong. But those people who have tunnel vision or one-mindedness, normally we say they are stubborn or obstinate. You cannot talk to such a person. And it is better not to talk. Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah has given a little story. He said that one day Jesus with his certain companions went out to just have a walk. He was talking and walking through an alley, a gully. All of a sudden, a person who was coming from the front, Jesus saw him, turned his face back and went into hiding. He went into a small lane and hid himself. The Sahab, the companions of Jesus, were astounded. When that man passed from them, Jesus came out. The companion asked, "Ya Prophet, O Prophet, what has happened? You are such a mighty person that a dead body comes to life on your order. You remove the diseases and calamities. Even you are not afraid of any lion or any wild animal. And why did you run away?" He said, "That fellow was coming." So they said that he was simply a human being. He said, "Yes, but that fellow, he was a nadan, ignorant man. Had he come here, he would have started talking and questioning to me, and whatever I would have said, he would have never accepted. So, better not to waste time, I ran away." So, amongst us, there are some people of that nature. They just fix a thing in their mind, then they don't move. No logic, no history, no facts can change them. That is against Ismaili faith. We must be absolutely certain about our Ismaili faith and then adhere to it. Adherence is a different thing, stubbornness is a different thing. We must be convinced about it. This is my message of tonight. Thank you very much that you heard me. And if you have any questions, please bring to me. More than half an hour has passed. महबूब किधर है महबूब? इसके नाम क्या? मेहरुन निसा. Mehrun is the sun. Suraj, son of ladies. Lekin life depends on the sun. If there is no sun, there is no life.
My name is Rahman.
Yes.
दुनिया भर की औरतों पर रहमत.
हाँ, खाली मेहर होवे तो ये मेहर means रहमत. मेहर का मतलब सन भी है. Very good question. Here is a question. Some people, they are talking about and questioning the direct descendancy of Hazrat Imam from Holy Prophet, the genealogy of Hazrat Imam. I have got with me, and of course not here, but in my library, books written by non-Ismailis. And they have written that Bani Abbas, who have ruled as caliphs about 900 to 950 years. They tried 3 times gathering the conference of mullahs and maulvis, Sunnis all, and the caliph, Abbasi caliph, would tell them to write a fatwa that Ismaili Imam is not the direct descendant. So under this condition of subjugation, these mullahs, they had written. But if once it was written, what was the necessity of second time and third time? Because people did not accept that, the first one, the second one, and the third one. Our enemies have tried very hard to prove it, and they have failed. I tell you, every time an imam of the time, whenever Ismailis used to pray, all times, right from Hazrat Ali, after prayer, at the end of the prayer, the Ismaili Jamaat would state the names of their imams at the end of the prayer and seek God's mercy through them, as now we are also doing. So every time, without fail, Ismaili Jamaat, right from the time of Hazrat Ali and after the time of Imam Jafar Sadiq, during the time of Ismail alayhi salam, and the Musa Kazim that these dynasties are following, they did not do what we are still doing. This is one of the greatest proofs that Ismailis have always at the end of their prayer had said the names of our imams. And you people know that only 40 years ago, when Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah died, we used to say his name. Now we have added Hazrat Imam's name. So there isn't any flaw in that. Secondly, if the genealogy was wrong, somewhere there should be a break. And this logic has been used by them. What they say, during the time of Hassan al-Tikri, there was another Hassan. And second time they say at the time of Alamut, it was Hassan, but that was not the son of the Imam. I mean, these are the things that they are doing. These ignorant people do not know when a wife of any Imam is going to deliver a son, it is not unattended. There may be so many women at that time nearby to wait that the future Imam is taking birth. And at that time, what they say, this child was chained. It is not possible in that way. Because the Imam of that time in Alamud, he was the king, he was the ruler. And Tom, Dick and Harry could not just go into the palace and do that. This is not possible. Unimaginable, unethical, unlogical is working.
सत्वेनी में है ना डिनर?
हाँ, सत्वेनी में है.
How would you answer the latest fashion amongst the youth?
Latest fashion?
They would like to be cremated instead of buried because it makes logical sense, physically, logistically.
Amongst Ismailis?
Cremation.
It's a news to me.
That they don't want to be buried because it creates pollution, it takes up land. What is wrong? And they're arguing that it's the soul that is eternal, the body has no value. Whether it's buried in the dirt or whether it's cremated. Ashes to ashes, they're talking about these things. How would you counter that?
See, if we are Muslim, we believe in Quran. Either you say, I'm not a Muslim, then you either cremate or throw in the ocean or whatever. Are you a Muslim? If yes, then follow what Quran says. Quran says, you belong to God. And you have to return to Him spiritually, also physically. Allah has commanded to bury your dead. Why? Because in the grave, most of the people who die, and during the day,
has recently spoken on the acceptance of pluralism in faith. Could you please elaborate on this? What is the Imam saying to us or the community at large with respect to pluralism in faith?
up to now, up to recent times, practically all communities in the past, they lived in a tight room, airtight. That means no community looked outside its own sphere of influence. I give you a personal experience. In the past, a Kutchi would not give his daughter to another non-Kutchi. Kathiawadi would not give his daughter to non-Kathiawadi. I mean, that condition was individuality, which was always by all the prophets in the past was condemned. The time has changed now. And inter-communities, inter-continents, inter-nation matters are coming up. People are freely taking their spouse from any community of any continent. Hazrat Imam is leading us to the pluralism in a way, not in this way. This is simply an example. But Hazrat Imam is thinking, telling us to think that the future is not based on the past, but based on the present. We had to, apart from our faith, apart from our spiritual side, we have to live, we are living and have to live with other communities, and we must keep our good relations with all communities, irrespective of any person or any community. There are so many spheres of human life that we people can mix with other people. Say education, industry, farming, culture. We can just make the interdenominational activities so that we can create a society of all people equally enjoying the freedom and peace of life. That is the pluralism. And not only that, we give, we also take good things from any society or any community. Inside our own community, a Pakistani or an Indian, an Afghani or a Tajik, we still have some barriers amongst these things. Recently, a Khoja boy asked the hand of an Afghani girl. Her parents did not agree. I mean, still we have such kind of notions amongst us. which Hazrat wants should be broken off. There will be a time, and inshallah that time is coming very soon. I do remember Maulana Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah in 1956, he went to London to see the Jamaat. Most of the people there amongst Ismailis were students studying there in London. And at that time, this was 1954. At that time, Maulana Sultan Ahmad Shah made a farman in Jamaat Khana that Khoja and non-Khojas should intermingle in a way of marriage. There isn't any bad thing. You are all my spiritual children. Because up to that time, rather, even after that, Kutchi, Kathiyawadi, Punjabi, Sindhi, Hindi, these barriers were taking place. After a few days, a man from Nairobi, very famous person, I don't give his name, he went to see Sultan Ahmad Shah in France. He said, Khudaman, you told on that day about that, and I'm eligible to get married, and I'm thinking I may go to Syria and marry an Ismaili girl from Syria. Oh, Mullah Sultan Ahmad Shah became very happy. Next day he gave him a letter. Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah wrote a letter to the Mufti Kamariya of Salamia. He went there. Now he was about 5 foot 1 inch, frail and thin fellow. He was a lawyer. He went there, and when he saw 6 foot high girls, very tough, he came back, did not marry. There was 2 things, size of the body and also difference between the cultures and language. Syrians mostly they speak their own mother tongue, the Arabic, and some they spoke French. So this fellow came back. But Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah didn't like that. But he wanted that there should be marriages between all sorts of Ismailis so that it may become a universal pluralism. Yeah.
In some areas of the world, such as Iran and Syria, common areas of worship exist for Ismailis and other Shias. Are these Jamaat Khanas? And is this something that can be foreseen to happen in the future in other areas of the world?
Yes, in Iran, I've seen Iran 22 times. There are many places that they have Jamaat Khanas there in Iran, particularly in the north side. In some places, the whole complete 100% village is Ismaili. No non-Ismailis there, like Jizwad, Aliabad, Sultanabad. So there are places, in remote places, Jamaat Khanas and our Ismaili Tariqa. But in Tehran or big places, we are underground. We don't call ourselves Ismailis. But there are hundreds of thousands of Ismailis in Iran. There are Jamaat Khanas, there are no Jamaat Khanas. In Tajikistan, in Salamia and Syria, there are Jamaat Khanas for a long time. And they are openly, professing Ismailis. But in Tajikistan, Tajikistan is a long country. From west to east is longer than north to south. If north to south is 1 mile, it is about 6 miles. I had been to Tajikistan. It is actually geographically, politically divided in two portions. If you stand before the map, the eastern side of Tajikistan, that is on the right side, it is known as Shoghnan, and it is about 40 or 41% of the whole country. The other part is bigger than this part, and the other part actually is known as Tajikistan. This is Shoghnan, because they are in majority, so they have combined in one country known as Tajikistan. But according to the Soviet law, and because these countries became free in 1902 after Soviet Empire broke down, so this portion Shoghnan is independent, autonomous area. But because they have no money, they have no army, there are no resources to manage and run the country, so they joined Tajikistan as one country. Shoghnan is 95% Ismaili. And if you go further to the head office, which is known as Khorogh, it is 100% Ismaili. They are originally known as Badakhshani. There is a river, the boundary is a river, and across this river is Afghanistan. Now this is the Badakhshan, western Badakhshan, and the other side is eastern Badakhshan. It is much larger than this portion, which is in Afghanistan, that is much bigger, but poor, and they are mostly peasants and farmers and labor people. This side is very good, 98% literacy amongst us, that is university and hospital, well developed, this area. And the other side, the Badakhshan of Afghanistan, is 100% Ismaili. And Afghani people, they tell me, because we have no population counts, but Afghanis say that there are 2.5 million Ismailis there in Afghanistan area. And here, around about 500,000 around. And Tajik people are very good people, well-trained people, well-educated people, though they are poor in the way that Russian government did not improve these areas in industry way or other way. But there is potential, great potential in underground, and that is rubies and diamonds and all these things are there, minerals are there. It may take some years, that Hazrat Imam is telling them, helping them, and one day they will just go for it. But potential is here. Tajikistan people, very staunch people. The first Imam ever went to Tajikistan was Imam Zainul Abidin. Imam Zainul Abidin, our third Imam, Ali, Hussain and Zainul Abidin. So I have gone there to see that place where Imam Zainul Abidin came and stayed. He was sitting under a big rock. Now in those days, Islam did not spread to these areas. So those Kafir people, they tried to throw a big rock as big as 4 times this house, whole complete house, 4 times big than that. And that rock, when they were trying to put it down, Imam Zainul Abidin gave this sign of hand. So that rock was tumbling, but when Imam gave the rock the sign, it stopped there. Now, the slope is very big. But that rock is like this. Just on the edge, it is standing here.
In that many years.
Yeah. 1400 years, 1300 years have passed. That rock is still there. Then Imam went up, and he placed his two hands on the rock. So those two hands went into the rock. So I've also photographed. Mehboob has the photograph, but he has not shown you it. Catch photograph. So Imam put his two hands on that rock, and that rock stood there, up to now. Then Imam Muhammad Baqir also visited. So there was a stone which had a little backrest also. So it seems as it was a kind of chair. No one made it, but Imam sat on that chair of stone, and up to now they have preserved it. So these people are the oldest Ismailis, Tajik people, from the time of Mawla Murtaza Ali. In 1922 and 23, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah sent Pir Sabzali to Tajikistan and other areas with his talika, and Hazrat Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah said, stop, or cease saying your dua. They were saying dua, reciting dua, that old dua, Hindi dua, dua pado Mukhi Sahib, dua pado Kamani Sahib, dua pado Sarve Jamaat. That dua Sultan Muhammad Shah stopped. And instead of dua, you recite, say, 5 tasbih of Pir Shah. 5 tasbihs of Pir Shah means your dua is accepted. So they are reciting 15 tasbihs of Pir Shah for 3 prayers. Now Hazrat Imam has introduced dua. So Pir Sabzali went there on Farman of Sultan Muhammad Shah, and he closed the Jamaat Khanas. Close Jamaat Khanas, say your prayers at home, and instead of dua, say Pir Shah tasbih. After about a year, Lenin, the first president of, rather dictator of Russia, Soviet Union, he ordered that all the religious places should be destroyed. Mosques, churches, synagogues, all were destroyed. So our Jamaat Khanas were saved because there was no Jamaat Khanas. So in that way, they kept the Iman concealed, hidden, and now time has come. Now openly they say we are Ismailis. And they are really very good people. एक दिन हो गया
नहीं सर
हाँ
चलो आप ही ले चलो फिर जाएंगे
हाँ
आप ही ले चलो फिर चलते हैं
मैं किसी को ले जाने वाला नहीं मैं
तो
खुद
फिर
जाऊंगा
कहते क्यों हो तो फिर जिक्र किस
मेरा तो
लिए किया?
काम ये है कि कहूँ वायदे करता हूँ लेक्चर देता हूँ मेरा काम ये है कि भाई ये देखो इसमें ये है करना तो करो नहीं करना ना सेकंड क्वेश्चन
Who are Harut and Marut, and what role are they supposed to play in the future?
In Quran there is a story. In a conference of angels, when God created man on earth and gave him to man, gave him many powers, so certain angels very politely, in a humble way, they expressed their concern about man. Oh God, we are your servants. And man is also your servant, you are created. But you have given man superior on us, superior position. So God said that, listen, whatever I have done, you cannot understand. Man in great difficulties that which you cannot stand, still he remains firm. So, if there is someone amongst you, I will send them on earth to see what man is doing and in what environmental circumstances is doing. So these two angels stood up. One was Harut, the other was Marut. And it is in Quran. So Allah sent them down in the form of man, human being. So when they came, they landed somewhere in Iraq. When they landed at a place, it was a very big Maidan, and a dancer was dancing with music, and people were enjoying her dance. She was a very beautiful woman. Now, they came down as human beings with also human senses, God gave. So they went up and saw that girl, so they told, let us take her away and we sit and have talk with her. So one of them, he went up after the dance was over and said, we like you, would you like to come with us? She said, yes, but you people are angels. They were looking at each other, how she knows. They asked, how do you know that we are angels? Aren't you angels? Yes, we are angels. But how do you know? He said, look, sun is there. Everyone has shadow. You people have no shadow. They said, yes. Okay, I'm coming with you. With one condition. Tell me your Isme Azam. The Isme Azam is the power that angels fly. She was so beautiful. They were so tempted because God had made like that. There is a story of Vishwamitra that 50,000 years of tap went away when he opened one eye and see that. One of them, he spoke his Isme Azam. Immediately, she spoke the Isme Azam and she flew up in the sky, disappeared. And they then realized God sent other angels, arrest them, bind their feet, put them upside down, head down, feet up, hang them with feet up and head down in the Babul, well in a Babul, Babylonia. And Allah says, up to Qiyamah, up to end of this world, they will remain there. And they are still there. Harut and Marut. This story has a moral. Number one, they distrust their feelings and iman on Allah. Their iman shook. And this shock of iman gave them andharo in their vision. The angelic Nuri position was removed and they were cursed, put down. So, whatever God does, whatever He thinks fit, we must keep the iman.
Mr. you mentioned about the internet, and you say that we should be aware of, or rather keep away from the information that is coming through the internet. And obviously you did not mean all of the internet.
No, certainly not. Whatever is eatable among the fruit, eat. And the things which is a skin or stones, not eat it. I meant that to have that kind of sift the things and then eat. I don't say that to close your internet things, but guard your iman, because in internet so many things are coming. Actually, I mean internet that Ismailis are conducting, even non-Ismailis. There are so many propagandas going on in favor and in against Islam, also against Ismailism. So we must not just carried on by the propaganda of internet.
For our benefit, could you possibly elaborate, because there have often been times when the internet is the only access to get farmans or certain commands.
Actually, we Ismailis are in a closed circuit of our faith. And if you are using or fingering towards internet for supply of farmans or other things, it is against our religion. It's against our faith. As in the beginning I told you that there was a farman of Sultan Muhammad Shah that after 100 years Islam Sharif faith will decay. People have not understood this farman that it is after 100 years. So they have just taken and making the propaganda amongst us that next year is 100 years over, and they are still there, this or that. Misunderstanding of the reference of dinars, farmans, hadiths, or even quotations of Quran. Many people, they have brought in internet some faramins of Imam Ali Shah Mahbub. And they have used such words which Imam Ali Shah, there is a doubt, did say or not said. There is no evidence. That farman or some other farmans written by so many people, in those days there weren't tape recorders or other chronology method of simply Ali Shah Mahbub or even Sultan Muhammad Shah Mahbub or even our Hazrat Imam now, he comes in Jamaat Khana, he speaks. Of course now we have tape recorders. But in olden days there were no tape recorders. Sultan Muhammad Shah's time, missionaries were allotted duties to write down farmans of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. I myself have done many times in Bombay. Imam speaks, I write. Then another missionary or myself or those 2 or 3 missionaries who have been given this duty, we sit down and carry the farmans, and those farmans go into the Tariqa Asmala Association, and then they are printed after the approval of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. Yet, we may not be able to do it 100% duty and 100% honesty or sincerity, because we cannot just write so fast. Imam was speaking in Urdu and there is no Urdu shorthand. So there may be some mistakes or maybe something less. So during the time of Imam Ali Shah, he was speaking, making farmans in Persian. The Jamaat did not know Persian. Kamaria Haji or some other person like Juma Kamu, they were making translation extempore. Imam speaks in in Persian, and they are talking into Urdu or Gujarati or Kutchi, and some people are writing. So in this condition, we cannot say that all farmans of Ali Shah, Yasin Ali Shah Mahbub authentic. Yet, in internet, people have given the means of Imam Ali Shah, and some objectionable words have entered in. So there is a doubt whether Imam Ali Shah did speak or did not. So for that reason I say, this internet source is not to be trusted. The only thing is, Hazrat Imam has long ago, nearly 20 years ago, he created IIS, Institute of Ismaili Studies, and Hazrat Imam himself is its chairman. Hazrat Imam is giving them certain type of works. Those means which Hazrat Imam has approved in our Jamaat, those farmans should be read and not others. Hazrat Imam has made very clear. Sometimes Hazrat Imam revises the faramins. Sometimes he changes. So we are Ismailis, believing Hazrat Imam as our Imam. We must get it through Aglemo Institute or Ismaili Tariqa. These are the farmans that we should take. And I have seen that in certain places, certain farmans either missed or added. Some few words have been added. Dangerous.
Just as an example, those people who sing about Kalakapara and all that.
See?
That's not a